Do you like visual cues more than you like sound cues? Do you want to have some visual feedback on if your buffs are running and how long they are running for? Or if your dots are actually, when your dots are going to run out? Instead of looking at a tiny icon, you can just look at a bar? Well, no problem. I have the perfect solution for you. Just use visual buff timers, visual dot timers, and visual party cooldowns. And in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to set those up. Hello, this is Zeffuro, and today I'm going to teach you how to set up my buff timers, dot timers, and party cooldowns. So for this tutorial I'm going to assume you already have Triggernometry installed, but you're just not using it yet or not using my repository yet. So we're going to start from the beginning. The first thing you want to do is to make sure you add my repository from the list. So you right click on the remote triggers, you add, click remote repository. Then you check the mark for the visual dot timers. This name should be changed at some time, but if it has my name in it, you want it. So you add the repository. Then the first thing you want to do is open this up. Now there's a README here. This README will probably get adjusted, but there's some more information in here. If you want to look over it again. But yeah, since I'm making a video, I'm going to show you how to do it. So basically, I got a trigger here. Settings, copy to your startup folder. Now, what's a startup folder? A startup folder is a folder where it's a folder when you put triggers in there. When you start Triggernometry, it will fire those triggers. We can use this for a variety of things, but we use it to set some variables so you can customize the setup of your visual buff tracker, dot timers, and party cooldowns. So you want to go copy this, you go into your local triggers, and you want to add a folder. Now this folder name can be anything. I'm going to call it my startup folder. And then you want to paste the trigger in here. Oh, and don't mind that sound, there was an alarm clock. Okay, so now we got the settings here in my startup folder. Now what we want to do is we're going to go here on the right, go to options, click edit configuration, and we want to select that folder as a startup folder. So yeah, so you can also just select the trigger, but if you're going to be using more stuff like Ahol's raid buffs, you want to use the folder so you can have more settings in there. Okay, so what you want to do now is you want to go in settings and you see all these settings. Now, what do these settings mean? Every time I refer to an X and Y is basically where on the map all my things are gonna appear. So basically what you want to do is you want to figure out where you want stuff. The easiest way to do this is just to open this aura, place this on a second screen or something, but you can see the X and Y values here. Or you can just go in here and look at your mouse. For example, I'd like my dot timers to be roughly above my own bars here. So I'm going to hold my mouse here, I'm just going to alt tab back. And in the bottom left corner it says 655 and I 692. So I'm going to note those down in a notepad. So let me just open Notepad. What about 655, 690 or something? Now, what I want to do with those values, I want to go into dot tracker X and I want to put those numbers in here. In this case, I've already got my personal settings here, since these are based on my preferences. But that's how you basically get the location for everything where you want them and put them there. Now we also have the party tracker. The party tracker is a bit more special, needs a bit more setup. So yeah, the important settings to pay attention to is you want to have it at the right spot. So if we go back to my game, We go to HUD layout. You can see I have the party list here. Now what you want to make a note of is you go to the UI element setting and see what this percentage is on. By default this is on 100%. But if you're using a different size, you want to match that size. So let's just remember that I got 80% here. And for reference, we're going to keep our mouse near where we want our first buff. Basically, hold your mouse there so we can see that's where you are going to be positioned normally. So yeah, I'm going to tap here. And I want to use that as my X and Y coordinate. Now so there's a party tracker scale here. So 0.8 means the 80%. But if you have, for example, 140%, you want to go and make this 1.4. So basically you want to have those two match. Another important setting is you go into Options, Edit Configuration. You want to go to Final Fantasy XIV, and you want to change the ordering method. By default, this is on player first, rest unordered, which won't work because this means the players will be loaded in as Triggernometry sees them. You want to have this on player first, sort the rest by custom party order. Now by default, everything that's in here, that's going to be correct. This is the default list that Final Fantasy uses it. So to show you this, we can go to character configuration, go to UI settings, and you can see them here, all sort settings. So basically, this is using the same order. But obviously, if you have changed this order, you want to make sure this order matches the one in Triggernometry. Or else the buffs are going to show up at the wrong persons. Now you got that set up. You want to make sure these settings fire so we can actually test it. So you want to go to plugin listing. You want to just disable Triggernometry and enable it again. You can also restart ACT for this, but I just find this to be a little bit easier. So it's going to be loading all the stuff. But now it's already loaded these settings. So now we can go back to the game. And that means that everything that we have set up should work. So how it works is as soon as you use an ability that corresponds to one of the triggers, it will show up. So for Bart, for example, I can use my opener. So I'm going to do this. This is muscle memory by now, but as you can see, we got the buff tracker on the bottom here. And then we got the dot tracker on the top here. So you see two bars. This is by default, but you can change it. The red bar is going to show you when it's active. And the blue bar is going to show you if it's not, if the cooldown's almost up. You can disable them or enable them. I just find this the easy way. When you got to refresh a buff or dot, it will start flashing. So that's very helpful. The colors may change depending on what class you're playing. I haven't figured out the best color yet for every class and every skill. But I'm taking suggestions. So yeah, hit me up on Discord if you have any suggestions or better color schemes and stuff like that. But yeah, if you just wait a bit for the cooldown to almost come back up. By default, most dots will flash when there are 5 seconds left on them. For the buffs, they will usually flash when there's like 10 seconds left. So yeah, we can see here, 10 seconds left. And when the bar is fully gone, we have our Raging Strikes back up. Yeah, and just to show you that the other thing is also working, let's use Troubadour. You can see here the Troubadour icon, because this is my position. But if someone else would be using Troubadour, if he were in the party list, it would show up right behind them. This is also pluggable, so if I just go into Summoner, for example, and just use Swiftcast, this will also be added. It should be a bit more to the left, but I don't know what happened here. Might be a bug I still need to fix, but for the most part this is working. So yeah, that's the tutorial for now. I hope you found this useful. If you have any suggestions or need more help, hit me up on the Triggernometry Discord. I will leave a link in the video description. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching and see you guys later.